For God's sake, can we please keep this woman in Congress? She's the future Nazi Pelosi and Mad Maxine Waters all rolled into one neat little fountain of gushing lies and virtue-signaling hypocrisies. Even though she has a horde of zombie-eyed, check-your-mind-at-the-door followers, she's a dream come true to put the finishing touches on the train wreck that is Washington's District of Criminals. Let me try to keep this video short and to the point. This guy's name is David Dole, and he's got a growing YouTube channel called The Rational National. From the looks of it, he's a Bernie Alexandria Ocasio Cortez groupie, singing the praises of the inherently immoral ideology known as socialism.
Good morning.
Good morning. What do you do when the coffee's all gone? Start drinking tea.
Well, I needed more coffee.
Yes.
It's one of those videos.
Yes.
Now, stay tuned to the end if you want to see the information we've got on Watchtower.
And I really hope that Alexandria Ocasio Cortez sees this video, because I find it very ironic that she's giving her little speech for socialism and taking, 70% of the, top wealthiest people, building up this dialogue, with this other person in Brian's video saying, there's no need for billions of dollars. This is immoral. But yet the very church that she's sitting in has extorted billions of dollars out of the sheeple. Go after their money. And that's why we're asking you to stay to the end, because this particular organization, the Watchtower Bible Tract Society, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, is in your back door, if not actually, or used to be in your district. And this is the hypocrisy that needs to be brought forth. So Brian, I hope you see this too, because I watched your video this morning and I'm sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, you're missing a big portion of this extortion criminal scheme that hides itself as, Christianity.
Well, they claim there's a separation of church and state in this country. No, there isn't.
No, because see, what happens from a ecclesiastical perspective, if a man and woman fall in love, get together and, start consummating that love through sexual relations, the church is going to say, oh no, you're committing fornication. You have to go to the state to get licensed to do that.
They become a corporation to merge.
Yeah, exactly. So this is extortion. There's no separation between church and state. They're one in the same. One will tell you you're sinning until you get the piece of paper. You get the piece of paper, and the other one says, okay, now you're not sinning.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, one uses fear and control, and the church uses fear and control. So they're no different. We've talked before about them both being cults.
Well, see, that's why, Kim and I, several years ago, did an in-depth series on this book by Peter Kershaw, Hush Money, and how the states controls the religion through the 501c3. And I just want to reiterate something that I put in one of those previous videos, page 31. And it says, by applying for and receiving a 501c3 license, a church converts a God-given right into a government-granted benefit. In other words, the government-granted benefit is that you can use fear-mongering, the fear of God, the fear of, fornicating without a license, into extorting billions of dollars out of the unawares sheeple. Continuing on, since an exemption is for a church a dramatically inferior legal status, it may be modified or revoked. Ocasio, modify it. Revoke it. Then you don't have to go after the people's money. Go after the church money. And trust me when I say, they're loaded. They are loaded. They're loaded. Okay? So now it goes on to say, What if at some time in the future Congress elects to eliminate certain exemptions? Your 501c3 church is still going to be euphemistically called tax exempt. It's just not exempt from all taxes. Hey, Congress has already done just that and will no doubt do it again. All you got,
especially these democratic socialists.
well, there
That's
it
what
is.
they're trying to
This
do.
is happening. So just to validate Miss Cortez, or Mrs., I don't know what it is. Ms. Just to validate that corporate legalese, I'm going to read it from the corporate Bible. And this comes from Romans chapter 13, verse, wait a minute, isn't Romans 13 an unlucky number? Oh, sorry, churches, sorry, Watchtower, this is your unlucky number. Romans chapter 13:1. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers. For there is no power but of God, the powers that are ordained of God. Whosoever therefore resisteth the power, resisteth the ordinance of God. And they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. Oh, the hell with this corporate legalese. Let's read it from the most corrupt legal document for the Christian. Romans 13:1. Let every soul be in subjection to the superior authorities. Now that would include religion, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would include Christians in your religions. Be in subjection. Let every soul be in subjection.
Well, we know Jehovah's Witnesses are in subjection to their faithful and discreet slave, their governing body. Because no matter what they say, they have to follow them.
They have to follow them. So let every soul be in subjection to the superior authorities, for there is no authority. That would include this country turning over and giving the reins over to the National Democratic Socialist Party. Wait for it. For there is no authority except by God. So if this country surrenders to the National Democratic Social Party, then this is ordained by God, people. You Christians can't say a thing about it because the corporation that you've surrendered to mandates it. And it also says this: therefore, he who opposes the authority has taken a stand against the arrangement of God. Hey, how do you guys like the Apostle Paul now? Are you guys beginning to think in different terms about the Apostle Paul? I mean, after all, come on, guys, let's get real.
Well, in his time, wouldn't that have been in subjection to the Romans?
To Rome. Jesus says, pay Caesar's things to Caesar, but God's things to God. Where do you draw the line between what belongs to God and what belongs to, well, wait a minute. It all belongs to God because God is the government, because this government book mandates that you be in subjection to the superior authorities. So when that superior authority, Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, wants to come after your money, and how ironically, she's sitting in a church giving this talk, giving this, how ironic, because if you people think that she's not going to turn her attention to the money that has been extorted by the churches, you're sadly mistaken.
Well, this has been called the greatest story ever told.
Sold.
It ends up being the greatest story, the greatest bullshit story ever sold.
Yes, the greatest bullshit story ever sold.
So, are we ready to talk about Watchtower and their money and their tax-exempt status?
Because Brian, at High Impact Flicks, you may be able to use this, and Alexandria Ocasio Cortez, you can use this to go after the Watchtower Bible Tract Society's billions of dollars, because after all, nobody needs billions of dollars.
So the idea that living in a society that allows billionaires to exist, essentially meaning living in a society that allows that sort of wealth to amass to an individual, is an immoral society.
Well, they do, because do you remember that JW broadcast where Let said we have more money going out than coming in?
As you know, for over 130 years, this organization has never solicited for funds, and it is certainly not going to start now. We don't send out monthly statements to each of Jehovah's Witnesses specifying a dollar amount that should be submitted to finance the work worldwide. Most donations, in fact, are contributed anonymously. Over the years, I have told various Bible students that a person could attend our meetings for 20 years and never put a penny in the contribution box, and we would not know it. Jehovah, of course, would know it, but for a certainty, any donations received do not line anyone's pockets and are not misappropriated. They are all used in supporting theocratic endeavors worldwide. Yet, as you can well imagine, millions of dollars are required each month to finance the colossal kingdom work that is being supported by this organization in some 239 lands. Because we in no way want to be categorized with other organizations, religious and otherwise, that coerce their supporters to donate. Another misimpression that has been brought to our attention is that the sale of property in New York City means that fewer donations are needed. To help put things in proper perspective, however, selling one of the significant properties in New York really only covered the operating expenses for the worldwide work for a few weeks.
If you listen to that again, he actually says that the property they're selling, that money would only last them a couple of weeks.
So, hey, Ms. Cortez, you better get your hands on this money right now, because, it's only going to last them a couple of weeks.
Okay, guys, ready for this? I want to thank our source so much. Thank you. 37 pages. Now, I'm going to put the link down below to the PDF of this on our website. Watchtower's properties. These are the transfer property documents. Over $2 billion. Now, I'm going to just mention a few of these.
This is right in Alexandria's backyard.
Yeah.
$2 billion.
Now, as you can see at the top, this is the real estate property transfer documents. And they're stamped by New York. And we've always mentioned, the Watchtower's been selling their property, but we didn't know how each individual one, how much each individual one was sold for.
The total of them.
Now we know.
$2 billion, guys.
Yep.
Extorted right out of the hands of Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay, 360 Furman Street, $205 million. Now I'm just going to round these to the nearest dollar. I'm not going to read the exact, like 205 million and 25,000, those. So I'm just going to round them off. 169 Columbia Heights, $50 million. 89 Hicks Street, $14 million. 67 Livingston Street, 18,000, actually 18.6 million. 8 to 10 Clark Street, 12.5 million. Like I said, the PDF is here. You can get these. 98 Montague Street, 81 million. It's interesting they have the buyer's name too, so you can find out who's buying all this property. 200 Water Street, $30.6 million.
Interesting how rich people can become selling the fear of God, isn't it?
81 Prospect Street, $23 million. 864 Prospect Street, 46 million. 107 Adams Street, 64 million. 175 Pearl Street, 53 million. Do you guys see a pattern here? All of this is tax exempt.
Tax exempt money. Yeah, the community of New York doesn't get a dime of this, Ms. Cortez.
Neither does the rank and file who donated, for them to, buy these properties and keep them maintained. Or the slave labor that helped them keep these maintained.
That's exactly correct.
137 Pearl Street, 54 million. 122 Columbia Heights, 105 million. 29 Columbia Heights, this is another big one, 340 million. I'm not going to read all of these, but you're getting the idea.
You're getting the idea.
85 J Street, 345 million. 107 Columbia Heights, 87.5 million. 90 Sand Street, and I think that's the one that just sold their last property.
I have to go back and double check.
No, this one was sold August of 2017. But 90 Sand Street, 135 million. 97 Columbia Heights, 58 million. 21 Clark Street, 202 million. So, like I said, I'm not going to read all of these, but you guys get the idea.
Let's reiterate a point. With one of these properties, guys, was sold to the son-in-law of Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States of America. What implication does that have? See, the property was sold to a nonprofit organization, and that money was not taxed, and that money was not put back into the system because the Watchtower Bible Crap Society claims that they are a non-profit organization. When Kim and I first come out of this evil organization, we did the research and we found the documentation that the Watchtower Bible Crap Society has one non-profit organization listed that they are associated with, and that is the International Bible Students Association. Well, guess what, Ms. Cortez? Guess who owns that organization? It's the Watchtower Bible Tract Society. So all they're doing is transferring the money from one pocket to the other. Go after them as a starter.
Well, I was going to say, I've got this recorded in the City Register of the City of New York, and this is in these documents also. And as you can see, it's a little bit different page. And, the seller, Watchtower Bible Tract Society. Now, this was the property for 29 Columbia Heights. The buyer, the Kushner Company, 666 Fifth Avenue, 15th floor, New York. Now get this. Now the New York real estate transfer tax that they had to pay to buy this property is $1.3 million. But, yeah, like I said, you can see it right here. Kushner Companies. Interesting connection, huh? I'm just saying.
Maybe she doesn't want to go after Watchtower now, knowing that there's a direct connection with, I don't know, maybe the, the Zionist banking cartel. I'm just saying,
Yeah, she better be careful, because if she starts going after their money.
Well, it's my personal opinion that this woman in the National Democratic Party are looking to start a civil war. I don't think it's going to be fought with guns. It's going to be fought with words. And it's going to get ugly.
Yeah, well, that's why we're on YouTube.
Exactly.
Trying to educate,
Yeah, these same very people want to disarm us, but yet they will enforce the National Socialism program at the point of a gun. How ironic. How does that work? Disarm the Americans so you can control them with the same very things that you are supposedly against.
Well, if you want to see how socialism is working right now, just go and Google Venezuela. What's going on in Venezuela right now?
Prime example.
Yeah, it doesn't work. It doesn't work.
And to try to convince yourselves that it does, My God, you need to go back to school. Oh, wait a minute. I don't think they're teaching this in school no more, are they?
No, they're not.
That's why everybody succumbs to it, because you're not being educated in your schools about how all of these governments before our government has failed.
Well, back in the olden days when we went to school, back in the dark ages, they had something called a social studies class or a civics class,
Yep.
and they taught this. They don't teach that anymore. Our daughter works in the public school system, high school as a matter of fact, and she interprets a lot of these classes, for deaf students. They don't teach any useful stuff like this anymore.
While editing this, it had recalled to mind something that I intended to read and had forgotten to do so. What I have in front of me is a little booklet called The Constitution of the United States. Its only keepers, the people. I wanted to read something on the last page, page 46. Now, I do not know whether this law is being followed in our public schools or not. But I would like to read what's on this page, and it's entitled Celebrating the Constitution. To commemorate the September 17th, 1787 signing of the Constitution of the United States, Congress has designated September 17th of each year as Constitution Day and September 17th through the 23rd of each year as Constitution Week. In 2004, Public Law 108-447, Section 111, was passed requiring the following. Each educational institution that receives federal funds for a fiscal year shall hold an educational program on the United States Constitution on September 17th of each year for the students served by the educational institution. Each federal agency or department shall provide educational and training materials concerning the United States Constitution to each employee on September 17th of each year. In keeping with these congressional mandates, recent presidents have solicited help from federal and local government leaders as well as civic and religious leaders. Now, I can attest for a fact that Watchtower has never followed this mandate. Religious leaders to hold events to commemorate the occasion. We encourage all citizens to use their influence to organize and support programs that honor the Constitution. Resources for holding such a celebration may be found at www.nccs.net. It's becoming blatantly apparent in this society today that this Public Law 108-447, Section 111 is not educating anybody. Because what we have in this country right now is people that want to destroy the Constitution and all of our rights that go along with said Constitution. No.
Most of the time spent in classroom anymore is the teacher yelling at the kids to put their cell phones away.
Yeah.
That is what the education, and now you can see why this has happened. Why this has happened where people just can't think anymore.
Yeah. So anyhow, really, Ms. Cortez, your crosshairs are aimed at the wrong part of society. Turn that weapon around against the religious, fear-mongering institutions. And look, when they go to resist, just quote Romans 13:1. They have no choice but to be in subjection, because if they're not, then they are making themselves an enemy of God, because God, according to this legal document, has put them in their rightful places to control us.
Yeah, and what better way to, control people? If
Exactly.
government doesn't work, then use religion.
Then use religion.
Yep,
Exactly.
and keep everybody distracted. But I want to thank everybody so much for your love and friendship and kindness and support, the past couple of days. It has been tremendous, and we appreciate it so much. And like I said, I'm going to put the link down below to our website, to get this PDF document. And while there, if you want to contact us, just click on contact at the top and send us a message. And like I said, I want to apologize to all of those of you who sent me genuine messages on Facebook. And, I deleted my Facebook account because I was trying to go through messages, and the more I answered them, the more that was coming in. So it's like, I've got to delete my Facebook now. And so I'm sorry, for that. And I don't mean to hurt anybody by deleting your messages, but it was just too overwhelming for me. So, if you need anything, just send us a message through our website here. And that's the best way to contact us now, for anything, nail and coffin or any other messages.
It's just too overwhelming.
Yeah. So, because I also, our webmaster has it set up with security, so if anyone's trying to troll us or spam us, then, it actually deletes them and locks them out of the website.
Yeah.
So,
And also, Ms. Cortez, if you need any other documentation about the criminal organization that the Watchtower Bible Tract Society is, feel free to contact us, and we'll give you anything you need to go after their wealth.
well, you got to question, the people that voted her in New York anyway. She's a 29-year-old bartender. What could she possibly know about, government and history?
She's a little wet behind the ears. I don't mean any insult, Ms. Cortez, but let's just get real for a minute. You don't have life experience to do what you're doing. So you know what? Why don't you just back off a little bit and start listening to the people in this country?
Where did she even come from to begin with?
District 14, I believe it's the Bronx, New York. That's why I say this is in your backyard, Ms. Cortez. $2 billion just floating right in Watchtower's hands.
Well, the thing is if you watch YouTube videos, because the mainstream media is painting her as a poor girl from the Bronx. Well, when you start watching videos about her actual background, you find out that she didn't grow up in the Bronx, and she's actually a privileged, that went to, a private school or something like that. But she went to good schools and...
Go ahead, because I
I'm
got
done.
something else. Because I want our subscribers to stop and pause and think about something. And it has to do with CNN, Cult News Network. Okay? Doesn't anybody find it a little suspicious that the Cult News Network was invited to observe and record the arrest of Roger Stone? Now, if you guys really paid attention to that, watching it from Cult News Network, you will see that martial law is already in place. Make no mistake about it. And this was signed into law by your beloved ex-president, Barack Obama. This is what martial law looks like. How do you like it when the Cult News Network is the only news source that reported on that? Wait a minute. Isn't that how, what type of government is that called?
Communism?
Communism works. Communism News Network. See, the government will tell you there's only one official news source giving you the news. And this particular Cult News Network gave you the news that martial law is in place. Just watch the arrest of Roger Stone. Wake up, people. The very things that a Republican or that a Republic society fears is already at work.
Well, everybody keeps saying this is a democracy.
No, it's not.
When you look at your history, even the Pledge of Allegiance, it says, "And to the republic for which it stands." This country was set up as a republic, not a democracy.
Right.
You know, or a democratic, socialist.
Socialist society.
So they're trying to do away with the very fabric. And many on YouTube have said, oh, this is an assault against Christianity. No, it's not. This is an assault against humanity.
Yes.
All over the world. It isn't just this country.
Understand and learn the difference to what you're hearing. You'll hear some news reporters say, yeah, this is an assault on Christianity. No. Kim's absolutely right. An assault on Christianity. I think I said that right. This is an assault on humanity is what this actually is.
Yeah.
Understand what's going on, friends. Please understand.
Yep. My website just kicked me off because my session,
It's too long. Okay.
so have to sign back in. But anyway, go and click on the link below to get the PDF to all of this, and please share it everywhere. And like I said, thank you to everybody, for your comments and emails and phone calls. We appreciate it so much. And I know we were a little upset yesterday, but
Well, it's
understandably, we just get fed up to hear with, just so much coming after us.
Well, you just have to realize that when Mike and Kim are pushed, we push back.
Yeah.
We just don't sit there and say, okay, I guess you're right. I should be a little more Screw that. I was submissive to that bullshit for 42 years of my life as a Jehovah's Witness.
Yeah.
No more.
I'm tired of people telling me what to do, what to believe, what to read, what to watch, what to wear, all of that. I've had it.
How to, groom yourself.
Yeah.
No. We're done with that. When people push, we will push back. And we've always have pushed back.
Yeah.
We've always pushed back, and we tell things the way they are and as we see them.
Yeah. Our humble opinions, take it or leave it, watch or not watch.
We don't care.
But the thing is since my Facebook is gone, any information we have now is going to be in our videos and on our website. So, let everybody know that if they want, documents and stuff that's coming out, they're just going to have to go to our website or watch our videos.
And like we said in the previous video, you're going to have to wait your turn because we're still working on July's emails.
Yeah, I'm almost done with July's now.
I know, almost.
Now that I'm not on Facebook, I have more time, so,
Yeah.
I'm almost done with July's now. So thank you everybody for everything. Thanks for watching. Welcome to all our new subscribers, and a shout out to all of our subscribers that have been with us for a while, and all our friends.
Hey, just a quick comment to Bonnie. I think you'll enjoy this, Bonnie. I read your email this morning about Judah and Israel. Think about this as you're rereading the Bible. Certain aspects of it. Think about it as a playwright, because remember, back in those days, people did not go to a movie theater for entertainment purposes. You would have to go to some, like a outdoor theater where they would put on a play. And, can you just imagine what kind of plays they were putting on that, became a script? A playwright, so to speak, Bonnie? Think about that as you do this.
Yeah.
You just might walk away with a different concept of what you're reading.
Well, I hope I'm not giving anything away that she wanted to keep secret, for herself. But that was a really good point, Bonnie. As Jehovah's Witnesses, we'd never realized that Israel and Judah were two different, and now the Jews, just the nation of Israel. But they weren't known by that. The 10 tribes that disappeared?
The northern tribe.
That was Israel.
Yeah.
The other two that are supposedly surviving to this day was Judah. So what happened to the nation of Israel?
Yeah.
So very good point. And for any of you, who want to do some research on that, you might want to look into that.
But be very careful. You might, you just might unindoctrinate yourself with something by doing all that research.
Well, I was
You may
going to
not like what you
say,
see.
or if you have a friend that is pro-Jew,
Yeah, you may
you
not
trigger
like,
them.
you may not like what you see.
Yeah, you might trigger them.
Yep. All right, guys, it's been fun and it's been real, and I guess I can say it's been real fun.
Thank you, and you all have a great weekend.
God bless.
Bye.